Hi, welcome to the Chess Files. The answers are out there. I'm James Eade of the Eade Foundation. You can call me Jim. The Chess Files comes on every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, and we have questions and we try to find the answers because the answers are out there. Now, what a little bit about me because it's my show, and I want to talk about how I got started in chess. I was just like uh, my first tournament game was 1972. So can you guess why I got started in chess? Well, I got pretty good pretty early. When I was still in high school, I would be winning adult tournaments, and I was thought I was a hot shot. Well, I got to become an FM, which was a FIDE master. FIDE is the world governing organization for chess. And what is a FIDE master? A FIDE master is kind of strong enough to fight with grandmasters, but not strong enough to become one. And I fought with grandmasters over and over. It seemed like every year, year after year, I'd be fighting with them, but I just never became one. So that was my chess career, and I decided that I needed to do something else in chess because I was passionate about chess. The game of chess, I say, if you give the gift of chess to a child, you give a gift that lasts a lifetime. It's immediately life lessons that they learn are directly transferable back into the classroom. So it's an educational tool when you're young. It's a pleasant pastime when you're an adult. And it's a solace in old age. You don't have to worry about your medical bills or your next doctor's appointment when you're playing a game of chess. That is far, far from your what you're worrying about at the moment when you're playing chess. So I got into chess organizing. I got into running Grandmaster Norm tournaments, international Norm tournaments, and what they called FIDE futurities, which gave people FIDE ratings. FIDE is the world governing organization for chess. So you got people rated uh, in FIDE, and so they can use that to create more norm tournaments. So that this was my idea was about chess excellence. But then I realized, there's a smaller group of players that are excellent at chess, and there's more people that just need to become familiar with the game of chess and to make it more popular. So I started paying attention to that, and I wrote Chess for Dummies, which turned out to be the smartest thing I've ever done in chess. And it was published in 1996, and it's still selling. It's still in print. It's in its fourth edition, and I think that it opened my eyes that there's a great big world out there that needs chess. And my idea then became, why don't we use chess to build communities? If you have access to the internet, you can join the chess community. You can play anyone, anywhere, anytime. Doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter what language you speak. But what if you don't have access? What if you don't have enough resources to even form a chess club, even get people together to play chess because there's nothing to play on? So I decided that I would start a foundation called the Eve Foundation, naturally, because it's about me, and help those to build communities using chess. And so far, we've expanded our reach. Mostly, you don't need to, the resources are there in places like Europe, and there's a lot of people that are working in the United States to help those less fortunate. But branching out into African countries where they just don't have the support, they don't have the resources, and so we can do these things like this and get happy birthday cards. And so this is in Uganda. Look at the board that they made for themselves. So we sent them a lot more tournament regulation boards, and we've done it in Zambia. We've done it in a lot of countries. So but in the United States, we've been trying to reach out to the senior centers and help them get started. And obviously there's the director of the senior center is not a senior, but that's okay. And we've done scholastic chess online. So we want to get kids involved. That's the main thing that we want to do. And what's scrolling across your bottom of the screen is the Eve Foundation website, and you can access that and find out more about what the Eve Foundation does. And just to let you know, it was an award-winning best overall chess website from the Chess Journalists of America. So we want to support kids, and but you may not become a grandmaster. I didn't. And you may never become as strong as Grandmaster Yermolinsky, for example, but there's so much that chess offers. It teaches you life lessons, postponement of immediate gratification, to plan. What in our grade school education systems teaches planning, self-discipline, sitting still and thinking. These are skills. You're not necessarily born with them, and chess teaches you these things, and they are directly transferable back into the classroom. So this is why we're doing it, and we also do we help with chess excellence. We have an Arthur Award that we give every year. The first, let me see if I can do this. Yeah, this is Grandmaster Mishra, who is the youngest grandmaster of all time. You can see he's holding a picture of him on the cover of Chess Life, and he was the first winner of the Arthur Award. And if I could find, where is Alexi? Alexi's here, and she was the second winner of the Arthur Award. And the third one will be given next year, essays to how can you use the Arthur Award, which is a $1,000 grant, to use for any purpose that's consistent with the Foundation. And if you can write an essay about how you would use it, you may be able to win the third annual Arthur Award. So that's a little bit about the Foundation. So, I'm doing a little twist today, and I'm bringing in a new topic, and that's the Unsung Chess Hero. George Marajanian was a guest on the show one time, and he mentioned the Unsung Chess Heroes. And I started thinking about that. Maybe I should bring on some of these people, because, the grandmasters, they get on the cover of Chess Live. People know their names and things like that. But there's so many people doing work behind the scenes. And the first person that I'm going to bring in is Ernie Schlick. And I'm going to bring him on now. Ernie, here you go. Hi, Ernie.
Hi, Jim. Great introduction. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for agreeing to join on the screen on the show. I'm going to change my background here so it fits better on the screen. But I picked you because I've known you for a long time. Lots of times I pretend that I don't know the guest, but I do know you. Known you since the mid '90s, and I have some sense of what you have contributed to chess, and we're going to go into that in a little more detail. Allow you to speak in your own voice, and allow me to add when I think it's appropriate for me to add some things that you might be too modest. That's the thing that I suffer from, modesty. What we're going to do is start with the human interest produces already in my ear. My first question is where did you grow up, and where do you live now?
Well, I'm a native-born Southerner. I grew up for my first 5 years in a small town in southern New York called The City. And that's about as far south as you can get in New York.
That's right. That's true.
And my folks moved first to Kansas, where my dad worked for Frigidaire, and then Stratford, Connecticut, where my dad worked for Lycoming and then Sikorsky Helicopters. And I went through most of my schooling there. And my chess career really started in Bunnell High School. I was first class there. And we had several players that we challenged each other. And my sister got extremely mad at me because I'd be on the phone playing chess every night, so she couldn't call her friends.
Typical siblings, yes?
Yes. So I did not play rated chess. The school tournaments were just casual chess, although hard fought. And then I joined the Navy, and I did not continue my chess career playing, or I did some studying, but until my ship went. Well, actually, I got transferred. My ship stayed in Holyloch, Scotland, and I got transferred to Charleston, South Carolina. And while I was still young, I still have the book.
Hold it in front of you. Yeah, that's it.
Just Made Simple. And that is by...
That looks like it's a very well-worn book.
Oh, yes, and quite old, too. Milton Hanauer.
Okay.
And he was the director of the New York City Scholastic Chess League, former New York
Shout
State
out.
champion, and member of the U.S. international team.
That
So
is
that
awesome. Good. An unsung chess hero. Very good. So, so where do you live now, Ernie?
right now I'm living in Norfolk, Virginia. When I first got stationed in Charleston, I stayed there from 71 through 79. Then I got stationed in Norfolk. And then when I retired from the Navy, we moved up to New Hampshire. And when we left Norfolk, we did not sell our house. My wife wanted to keep it because the payments were quite low, so we rented it out. And then when I left as an employee of the Chess Federation, we returned to Norfolk, and we've been living here ever since.
I see. Okay, so I am once again going to you can see the banner scrolling across the bottom of your screen. It is an award-winning website, by the way, but you are associated with another organization, Hampton Roads. That's the HR and the HR Chess Club that's scrolling across the bottom of your screen now.
Mm-hmm.
And Ernie, I have, I think I have a picture of you receiving an award there. I'm cutting to the, most recent part of your chess service, but your chess service will go back to the years before. But this is a picture of you receiving an award. Is that Christina Schweiz?
That is Christina Schweiz, and she is a tremendous woman. She's a retired Army colonel, and she took the smaller chess club that Joan and I had created and run many years in Norfolk, and got it up to where she's got 200 kids going, taking lessons and everything. And she's a tremendous woman. And she created the Hampton Roads Chess Organization.
And you have been presented by that. And shout out to Christina. Great job. What we want to know is, what was that award she was presenting you with?
This was 2002, the President's Volunteer Service Award, and she submitted me for that, and I did not know it. And it was just at the meeting we had last week that I found out about it.
Hold it in front of you. There you go. Holy cow. The President's Volunteer Service Award. Is that bronze?
Yes, that's the bronze award, not the gold.
Yeah, but I was going to say, who got the gold?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful that Tina submitted it for me and documented it well enough that I received it. I really appreciate her.
Yeah, well, shout out to her. That's a great service that she provided, but it was in recognition of the service that you provided. Now, I think you are also a life member now. They made you the life member of the Hampton Roads Chess Club.
That's right.
Yeah, and I wanted to let you know because it's my show. I'm a life member of the Mechanics Institute, a very famous chess club or chess room in San Francisco. I had to pay a lot of money to become a life member. Did you have to pay a lot of money?
No, although
No.
I have donated money. I
Oh.
donate. Fortunately, I'm a little older than 57. So I've been using the IRS function. Let's see if I can remember it now. Where if you donate money direct, if you're over 65 and you donate money directly to a 501c3 organization, it comes directly off your taxes, which is nice, and it goes to the organization. So I've been donating for the past years to the Hampton Roads Chess Club, the Chess Trust, and the U.S. Chess.
See, that's another unsung hero kind of thing because the E Foundation is also a 501c3, and when you make a donation to the E Foundation, you can write it off of your taxes. And it's definitely a great way. John McCrary from South Carolina told me that this is a good way for people to remind people when you do reach a certain age that this is a good way for money that it would otherwise, not go to you, can go to somebody else
Yeah.
and be used. It's a useful way when you get to a certain age.
And it's called a qualified charitable donation.
Right. And
And
so
you
I
can look
I
that
don't
up and find the conditions.
right. And so but I make these donations to the U.S. Chess Trust as well, and of course to my own foundation. But the U.S. Chess Trust has been doing a great job, and of course the U.S. Chess is the national governing organization for chess in the United States. So that's also a worthy enterprise to support. And that's actually how we met. We met as delegates in the annual meeting of the chess governance of that body, the U.S. Chess, the national governing organization. And we were both delegates. I was a delegate from Northern California. You were a delegate from Virginia?
Well, various. I get served as a delegate from various states where I wasn't living at the time. Like I think I served as a delegate from Pennsylvania once. I know when I'd moved out of South Carolina, I served as a delegate from there. That was before the more restrictive rules
Yes.
on bringing in delegates from other states.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, when I was in Virginia, I don't know if it was while I was in Virginia or not at that time, but I think Helen Henshaw had added me as a delegate, and
Shout out to Helen Henshaw,
yeah, she
a
told
great
me
organizer.
that I had to vote the way she wanted, and I told her no. And during one vote in the annual meeting, I'm holding up my name tag to make a vote, and she ran over and started trying to pull it down. Helen was a good Helen was a very good friend, and she did a whole
Yes.
heck of a lot for chess.
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Helen. Definitely. I played or was it at the 1996 US Open in Virginia, which she organized. And
I was
that's
there
when I met
too.
her. Yes, yes, of course. Of course. And so I imagine that you serve now with the more, back in before my time, they used proxies, and then they could seat you from another state, and they've sort of taken a stronger look at that, or look at that, and made more um,
Yeah,
constraints.
you have
So
to
they,
be from a contiguous state if you're appointed at the meeting.
I see. And we really got to know each other when we were both committee members on the bylaws. And so I
Mhm.
know that you were a committee member of bylaws, but didn't you actually chair committees? You were on other committees, I know. I
I
can't remember
chaired
which.
the club committee
The
1
club
year,
committee. Hmm.
and I also served on, and I'm still serving on rules and TDCC, and that's the Tournament Director Certification Committee.
And so in order to serve on that, I imagine you were a tournament director.
That's correct. I'm a national tournament director. I got that around 1979 or so, I think it was. Maybe later. I think it was a little later.
So you've been
And
a tournament director for a long time, and because I was a club director, I had a club level certification, and so national is a little bit higher than that, isn't it?
yeah, well, it's not a more important person. It's somebody that has directed many tournaments and many more important tournaments that give big prize money and stuff like that, so that you have the experience running big tournaments. And to become a national tournament director, you also have to serve under another national tournament director. And I got most of my experience serving on the what's the name of the Scholastic tournament every 4 years where they combine all of them?
Oh, the super scholastics,
The
or what
Super
is it?
Scholastics. Yeah, I
Yeah.
served on the Super Scholastics, and that were some of my qualifications for going to become appointed as a national tournament director. And just like all our other tournament directors, I had to take a test, but it was pure essay. And since I've been on the TDCC, I've corrected other NTDs and ANTDs tests that they have submitted. And I've learned a lot from listening to their statements and evaluating them.
Yeah, because everybody's experience is a little different, and so they may have encountered something that you didn't, even though you've been doing it for years. So that's great, and I love the humility that you bring to since I've known you. This is one of the character traits that I admire most about you, is because you say it's not more important; it's just more experienced, and you have the experience that you can draw on to settle situations that come up in various tournaments, because situations always come up. But I do want to mention the Super Scholastics again, because I attended the first one, and it was so amazing to me, because you had thousands and thousands of kids running around, and as kids will. And then when you started the round, there was silence. They were all sitting at their boards and they were all silent. And it was just amazing to have this cacophony 1 minute and then the next minute silence. And there were so many children there. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable. So you got to be actually direct one of those.
Yes. I was
Sure.
not the chief director.
Right.
Dylan
Right.
and I served on the staff at the second Super National in Kansas City.
I
And
did not go there. Yeah.
that was rather interesting in that it was a extremely long hall with a concrete floor. And boy, our feet were getting tired by the time
I
that
bet.
tournament ended.
Yes. Good shoes is one of the
And
tournament directors.
Dawn was my wife, and I'll be telling a story about her later on in this show.
Yes, another unsung chess hero, and we'll give her due time later on. Right now, we're going to focus on you, and I want to say what you're doing now is for service for a charitable organization, Hampton Roads, which is doing a great job. I know because the Foundation has worked with them in the past, and they do things like programs that for children that cannot afford to pay the entry fee. The tournament player that I am, I would say that entry fee, but whatever the cost of the program is, the kids can't afford it, so they offer scholarships. So
And
that's
that
just a
comes out
wonderful.
of a poem dedicated to Joan.
Is that correct? I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I know that Christina wrote to me and said that all roads that lead to Hampton Chess go through Joan and Ernie Schlick. So you guys were the founders, the originators, and Christina has taken it to another level. But you are still there. You're still getting noticed. You not only are a life member, given a life member for free. I had to pay for mine, and you got the President's Award too, that bronze medal you showed earlier.
I've served on the board. Right now, I'm not serving at the board, but I'm still doing a lot of stuff like working on the website, rebuilding, reinstalling Windows, and setting up computers for our kids that we use because, like many organizations during COVID, we changed a lot of our lessons and tournaments over to the internet, and
Right.
we were teaching over using Zoom for before and still after, if I can call this after the COVID.
Yeah. Who knows? Right.
For everybody, get your shots.
Get vaccinated. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
The more people that get vaccinated, the more quickly we'll get through this, and we will get through this.
Yeah.
And we will go back to tournament chess, over the board tournament chess, because I don't I do play online chess, but I don't enjoy it the way I would do people over the board face-to-face encounters. And it's harder to make friends over the internet than it is in person.
Yeah.
And so you build a community. You can do it online, but it's not the same as doing it in person. And
Yeah.
when I
You
go to,
mentioned friends, and that's been an important part of my life in chess. A lot of the people I've met have become friends. I've been the benefactor of when I play in a tournament and I lose to a stronger player, they are nice and they will go over the game with me, and I learn from that. And I try and teach people that I'm bringing up in chess that right now you've got that opportunity from others, but when you get stronger, remember to give back. And chess is a great social activity.
yes, you think you're sitting across the board for hours with an opponent, but you learn a lot about the person. You're silent, you're not talking, but you learn a lot about them. And then if you go over the game afterwards, um, and we call that a postmortem after the game is over. You analyze it and you can share each other's ideas, and it's really, especially when there's a strong, and usually it's a player that's close to your strength, but better. That's when you really get good learning because you can really follow what they're telling you. But
Yeah.
these are priceless opportunities. You know, I can recall playing 7-hour game with Walter Brown, who's 6-time U.S. champion, and I ended up losing because I was pushing too hard to try to win, but I lost, and so I'm exhausted, and all I want to do is go to my hotel room and fall asleep. And he said, "You want to go over the game?" And I said, "Sure," as though I wasn't exhausted. It was like
Yeah.
he was still brimming over with energy. And you're not going to say no to analyzing a game with Grandmaster Brown. Come on. So, but he was just charitable about it. And this is the thing that people such as yourself, Ernie, bring a quiet dignity to the tournament games. It's recognized by others. It brings it out in others. And you do this as a delegate as well. You're never one of the loud mouths at the microphone. You're all, but what you have to say, I can remember what you told me in the bylaws committee. This is like 20, 30 years ago. Um, you told me that you just wanted to make sure, you thought your role on bylaws was to make sure our motions said what we wanted it to say. And I thought that was great. It was like, because I'm the kind of guy who can make a motion and I know what I mean, but I didn't actually write what I meant.
Yeah.
So I needed somebody like you.
And my experiences in the Navy taught me to be very detail oriented. I was an electronics technician who did metrology, which is the adjustment, testing, and repair of electronic test equipment. So that leads one to be very detailed. And one of the problems I see with people that will make motions is they don't look into the way it practically works in the real world after it passes. And that was one of the things I tried to bring to the various chess boards that I served on. Um, and it's a very important thing to keep in mind as you try and come up with something to make the chess rules better or living your life.
Absolutely. And the attention to detail can't be emphasized enough, because I learned this in chess. This was the lesson that was taught to me in the harsh way, the school of hard knocks. And that if you had a great idea, you have to sit on your hands before you play the first move and think through it because your opponent gets a turn too. And he may not let you execute your idea the way you planned it, and he may throw a monkey wrench in it. So you have to think about, well, if I do A and he does B, he falls into my plan. But what if he does C? And so you have to think through these things. You have to be more detailed than was my nature to be. But I was trained in chess. As you mentioned, you're trained in the Navy. And this is a life skill that chess trains you to be. And some of the delegates aren't really chess players, but have to be attention to detail when you're a tournament director as well. Isn't that true?
Yes, very much so, because you got so much that you have to look into. You have to look at what happened over the board. You have to look at what each player did. You have to be knowledgeable about the rules. There's a
Yes.
lot that goes into it. And becoming what I hope is people see me as a decent director, and I think most of the feedback I've gotten
Yes.
is I've been able to give back to the chess community by training other tournament directors,
Yes.
and both Tina Schweiz and Mike Hoffpower acknowledged me as a mentor for them and several other TDs I know I've mentored. So that's been a fun part of my chess career too.
Yeah. And that mentorship role, it's not all about Ernie. Ernie knows that. Ernie is sharing his knowledge. And this is a gift that you're giving others without asking for anything in return. And this was what makes you an unsung hero. You're unsung only to the point that your name might not be recognized on the pages of Chess Life or New in Chess or things like that. But people who meet you are affected by your contributions to chess, your service to chess. And that's why I asked you to be the first unsung hero on this program, because of the service that you have given. You have been dedicated to service. And I want to bring up a subject I know, but Joan, your late wife, was also an unsung hero. And I wanted you to have an opportunity to show us a picture of the two of you together and to talk a little bit about Joan's service, because it was Joan and Ernie. It wasn't just Ernie. Yeah.
And we were not just chess. We square danced, and those outfits Joan made. And she
That's
taught me to
wonderful.
play duplicate bridge, which was fun. We
Yeah.
played together as a partnership till she said, "Ernie, you yell at me too much. We're quitting." And another good friend of mine, Bob Messenger of New Hampshire, is
Yeah.
we played duplicate bridge for a while. And so, you meet other people and you have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So Joan, I met I'd come back from being stationed overseas in Holyloch, Scotland, which I love because my mother was born in Edinburgh, Scotland, and came to the United States when she was 5. And I got stationed on a ship in Charleston in 71, and 72, of course, was the Fischer-Spassky match. And the Charleston TV had a interview with the gentleman who was running the Charleston Chess Club. So I decided
Oh.
this would be fun to do. I went there. I ended up joining the Chess Federation for the very first time
Uh-huh.
and playing in my rated tournament. And I won my first game, and I lost to a master in the second game, a Air Force. I don't know if he was a pilot or not, but he was master strength.
Hmm.
So, and I came out of that with 1,400, which is not bad for your first rated tournament.
Absolutely. Right.
And after the tournament ended, I asked the lady who directed it if she'd like to go out on a date. And Joan said yes. And 7 months later, we got married. And
Well,
she
that's a
taught me
bold
how to
move,
direct.
Ernie. You
We
just
worked
met her.
together learning chess and had a wonderful life together.
Oh, of
And
course.
I did not have a wife who was a chess widow. She would be dragging me off to tournaments more frequently than I would be taking her.
Oh, that is such an endearing quality. That is something. But you shared, as you said, square dancing, duplicate bridge. You shared a lot. But you were at the with times I would see you at I would normally see you at the U.S. Open, and which is one of the national governing organization's major tournaments, and I would see you. Not every year. We didn't see each other every year, but we would see each other often enough. And I would see you and Joan together, and you were just an endearing couple. I can attest. Outside looking in, it
Well,
was
one of the
still.
wonderful that she taught chess, and she taught me how to teach chess, things to do, and would teach at PTA sponsored clubs and schools, and
Good
she
for
would
you
teach
guys.
the lower rated of the beginners, and I would teach the higher rated. And it was nice having two people because experienced coaches know when you go to a school and start teaching, you got a big group of people, 15, 20, 25 students who are don't know how to move the pieces to the people that have played serious chess. And
There's a whole
so
spectrum. Yes.
having the two of us made it very much more easy for us to coach because we had we could break them up into two classes so the students didn't get bored and we could cover the material they were ready to enjoy.
Yes.
And
And that's
one of the
where
nice,
I always say you've got to meet them where they're at. You know, you
yeah,
can't teach them grandmaster chess when they're beginners. So I noticed over your left shoulder, I think, left shoulder, there's a king on the windowsill. And
yeah.
and
I
and did
don't remember if Joan made that or we had a friend in Nashua, New Hampshire, that we taught chess at the boys club there, and he was an amateur. Well, I hate to call him amateur because he did some really beautiful stuff, but he
uh-huh.
did a lot of very nice chess stuff for us. We have some nice nights over the
Oh,
fireplace mantle in our home. He made a beautiful, and if we have time later, I'll bring it in and show it to you. He made a king on a laser. No, it was a queen, and it was one piece of wood that he carved out and made beautiful.
this
So
is the type of because we are getting close to I have to start wrapping up, but this is the kind of recognition that is much more important, I think. You know, you could tell this just about melted my heart when I got this. You know, it was my birthday present from kids in Uganda, and so you have an artist creating stuff for you, and it's obviously this is the universe reflecting back to you that you're doing good service, you're doing good work, you're making a difference in somebody's life, and they're thanking you in any way they know how. And
and when
so
my ship went to sea, she would run the chess clubs, and we had a VW microbus with a camper option, but no pop top. And while I was underway and out overseas, she would take some of our younger club members to U.S. Opens and other big tournaments like the state tournament.
wow,
So
yes,
she was an amazing woman.
she was an amazing woman because I couldn't do that. Ernie, I know that it's hard still, and my heart goes out to you, and I'm sure the viewing audience's hearts are all going out to you for your loss. But is there anything before we end that I should have asked you and forgot to? Is there something else that you would want to say before we conclude? And thank you for being my first unsung chess hero.
Well, Jim, thank you very much for asking. It's hard to say. There's a lot of stuff from my chess career and life career that I would love to share, but as you say, we're running out of time. And I've just so much enjoyed the friends I've made and the play of chess and the whole experience. It's been wonderful. Just remember, uh, go out and help clubs, form clubs, bring people into the chess world because we need them.
Yes. Thank you, Ernie. And I count you as a friend. And I really do express my appreciation one last time for you being my first unsung chess hero. I'm going to take you backstage now and wrap up the show. So
Thank
good
you
to see
for
you.
interviewing me, Jim, and I really appreciate you making your first guest in this series of videos. Thank you.
You're more than welcome, Ernie. So I'll say goodbye to you now. All right, that was Ernie Schlick. And let me adjust my background again because, you know, now that I'm on full screen, I can go back to this image. So this has been the Chess Files. The answers are out there. Every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, we do a version of the Chess Files because sometimes we ask questions and then provide the answers. Sometimes I don't know the answers and I have a guest come on and give us what they think the answer is. And so, anyways, that's the format of the show usually. But now and then we're going to change it up. And this is the first change up. The unsung chess heroes, people that don't necessarily have the recognition they deserve for the service that they have provided, the generosity of spirit that they show, and how much they help build communities through chess. So this has been James Eade. You can call me Jim. And I'm going to sign off now. And if I can, my producer, I think he went, I think he fell asleep. Okay, so I'm going to sign off, and I hope you will see me next week.